What was that?
So the comprehensive plan takes a direct aim at property rights, right? It looks like it's an Agenda 21 strategic paper that it's very complicated for average Americans to understand, and it's coming straight from the Chamber of Commerce. What I think we should do, and I think Roger Nutt will agree with this, because Roger Nutt loves property rights, we should add a definition of property rights to the plan. And I believe the right definition should come from Supreme Court Justice Richard Sanders. He wrote the following definition of property rights. Property in a thing consists not merely in its ownership and possession, but in the unrestricted right of use, enjoyment, and disposal. Anything which destroys any of the elements of property to that extent destroys the property itself. The substantial value of property lies in its use. If the right of use is denied, the value of property is annihilated and ownership is rendered a barren right. And that's posted on my Facebook page, both my personal and the page I have. I would recommend that if we go forward with this plan, which I don't agree with the plan to begin with, but I hope there's enough of us to stop you, but I know we haven't stopped stuff before. But we should have a definition of property rights, because what is at stake? If we don't have a right to our property, what do we have a right to have? I mean, eventually socialists, what they do is when there's no definition of property right, they say, well, you don't have a right to your life either. We've seen that in Nazi Germany, we've seen that in communist Russia, and that's what's happening in America. No businessman that owns property is not aware that property rights are no longer protected like they used to be. In the United States, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, all the others, they formed America so we could have loyal rights. That meant that the government could not even tax the property, because a loyal right gives you use to. And now for me, I've got a car, and I got a property tax bill. And if I don't pay it, what happens to me next? They steal my property. Now, how many of us would call ourselves Christians, or how many Jews are here? What is the 8th commandment in the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt not steal. Those of us in the community, I want to make Spartanburg the greatest community or county in the state. I work in 3 states. I think eventually we can get there to where people can have full rights of their property. And I really believe in that. I think there's something special happening in Spartanburg County. Maybe not right now. If you guys pass the comprehensive plan as it is, that's going to be a huge death blow to property rights. But if anything, add this definition to it, because Roger Nutt loves property rights. I know he does. I know some of you do too. Some of you own property. So let's move forward with the definition of property rights, and let's use the definition from State Supreme Court Justice Richard Sanders. He did it in 1997 because in the state of Washington where he was, property rights they were under threat right after the United Nations Agenda 21 program started, which resulted in total chaos because people were not ready for the United Nations Agenda 21 plan to end property rights in America. And we're getting closer and closer to it in America. Spartanburg County, let's stop it in our county, and let's stand up for what George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and the others would have stood up for. Full property rights to the people that own it. Thank you.
Ma'am.